I think we're live. Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new live stream, and we are officially live on this beautiful Thursday, June 29th, 2023. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day, night, afternoon, midnight, wherever you are in the world. I'm certainly having a good day myself. And today we got to talk about the recent Supreme Court decisions and the upcoming ones tomorrow. So yeah, we've had quite a bit of, quite a bit of significant landmark decisions. There's been a lot of good. There's been some bad here and there, but overall, I have to say, the past couple of rulings have been very solid for everybody involved. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day. I'm certainly having a good day myself. And before we continue with today's live stream, I hope you enjoy these type of streams. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, guys. Go follow Real American on Politics on Twitter. It is a great Twitter account everyone should follow. Of course, follow the Rumble page down below for exclusive content. And of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you can help keep Real American as an independent content creator machine. So if you want to join the channel, click that blue button down below and you can join the channel just for $3 a month. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Also, if you want your questions answered, the best way is to send a super chat. Of course, all the super chats, they help support the channel. But if you do got a question in the chat, I'll try to answer all of them. But if you want your question for sure answered, best way to do that is to send a super chat, which also helps support the channel. So I hope everybody enjoys today's stream, as we have a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about Montana. We have to talk about the Supreme Court. And we have to talk about some new polling from Ohio. So yeah, so what should we talk about first, everybody? Ohio, Montana, or the Supreme Court? We gotta see. Let's actually start with Montana, because we've been talking a lot about it. It seems like the Montana Senate race would be a dogfight. That's what it's looking like it's gonna be next year. I mean, it's gonna be an absolute war. It's gonna be a freaking... I don't even describe it as... It's gonna be just a shit fest. That's the best way to put it. I mean, it seems like that Tim Sheehy is getting all the endorsements. And let me bring this up. Let me bring up the endorsement list. Yeah, people are saying Montana. So we're gonna start with Montana. We're gonna get this done and over with because we had some significant endorsements for candidate Tim Sheehy, who I have some major problems with. So, of course, he got the endorsements of Daines, Cotton, Blackburn, but today he got the endorsements of Mark Wayne Mullen, a pretty bad senator from Oklahoma, and Ted Budd, a pretty solid senator from North Carolina. But I think the biggest endorsement that Sheehy has gotten so far is from Greg Gianforte, the governor of Montana. In my opinion, this is the biggest endorsement he's had so far. Now, here's the problem that he's going to have still. I think Trump's going to endorse Sheehy, which is an L. And suddenly you're going to see the elected bros say, Trump's endorsements are great and all that stuff. It's like, you people had no convictions. And suddenly Trump's endorsement isn't cancer. It's like the hypocrisy of some of these people. But Rosendale, he is getting some endorsements. Obviously, the Club for Growth is the biggest named group that will support him. He is getting support from Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. I believe a couple congressmen endorsed him, or they're going to endorse him if he runs for the Senate seat. So it's going to be a bloodbath. And I'm going to try to contact some people, talk to them and say, look, Rosendale's the best option. He just sucks. Let's be real here. I mean, some of those statements about Ukraine, it's not even just, oh, you're shilling for Russia. It's not even that. He wanted escalation in Russia. He wanted boots on the ground in Ukraine. It's like, I don't care what you say about Ukraine. The worst policy possible is putting boots on the ground. And that's what he said. He flat out said, We need to put boots on the ground to stop the Russian tyrant. That's what I'm talking about. And I think we got to get Trump to endorse Rosendale. Rosendale's one of the best congressmen. Guess what? I showed everybody yesterday. He's won statewide twice now. One for the state auditor and one federal election for the congressional seat. What are you talking about? He's unelectable. He can absolutely win the Senate race. Montana, literally R+20 state. Simps. No, we need to be electable or else Democrats win Montana. Yeah, and I showed the data yesterday. Can somebody debunk what I said yesterday about, how it was a Trump +3 electorate? And I showed, even if you had a Tester overperformed Trump by 8 points when you looked at 2018 data, and Rosendale underperformed Trump by 4 in 2020. Do the math. That's a 12-point difference. And let's say he does a couple points better than that. Even at a 14-point gap, Rosendale would still win. So who freaking cares? And I got an argument a couple minutes ago on Twitter. Go look it up. This bozo is saying, oh, I would rather have a liberal Republican if he does 1 point better. That's it. 1 point better than the conservative candidate. I would take the liberal candidate every single time. So much for these true conservative patriots. They're not conservative. They don't give a shit about policy. They just care about masturbating to a red map. That's what this is. If Phil Scott was president tomorrow, sure, he may win a bunch of electoral votes, but it's like, who cares? He's a liberal Republican. And some of these people like Becky Edwards. It's like, it's whatever. That political guy for 5. Top 10 best congressman and top 10 worst congressman. Ooh. Let me bring that up real quick. Congressional list. I gotta bring up the congressional list. Because there's a lot of candidates I like that don't get enough discussion. Okay, members of Congress. Trump literally won Montana by 21. Yeah, exactly. It's like, so you're telling me that a state Trump won by 16 and 21, he's going to lose suddenly? It's like, give me a break. All right. Okay, I got to figure this out. Okay. Of the current U.S. Senate, House. All right. Okay, I got it up here. All right. So let us start state by state and discuss which one. Members by state. We'll go by Alabama. So we're not including people in the House. We're just including people in the House. Gary Palmer's okay. Dale Strong, I should say. He's all right. I wouldn't say any of these guys are top 10. Barry Moore, So a lot of meh in Alabama. Arizona, ooh, there's some good ones. Biggs is definitely on that list, that's for certain. Juan Cisimani, the most overrated Republican. He's a social liberal. Wow, he won a Biden +1 seat. We're going to congratulate him. It's like, who cares? Who cares if he wins a Biden +1 seat? And this is my point. Like, okay, I'm glad he won it. But it's like, why are we worshipping this guy as the second coming? They do this every other week. They find some candidate that does 1 point better, and they say he's an electoral juggernaut. It's like, no. Elijah Crane, he's definitely getting up there. He's been surprisingly good. Paul Gosar, easy top 10. So yeah, Biggs and Gosar are definitely both in the top 10. Easy. Crane is probably like an honorable mention. He's been very solid. So that's 2 out of, like, what, 10? Arkansas is garbage, so we're just going to ignore that. California. Ooh. California. I like Kevin Kiley, but I don't think he's top 10. Yeah, I don't think he's a top 10 guy. So, I hate to say it, but he's up there, though. David Garcia, or Mike Garcia is pretty up. Yeah, he's up there. But I would go with Tom McClintock. McClintock. He is, in my opinion, top 10. So yeah, that's like 3 right there. Wisconsin, obviously, we got to do a couple there. Obviously, we have my man Tom Tiffany's in top 10. Van Orden's been garbage, which I don't know why. He's just been bad. I mean, what has he been good on? Van Orden. So I'll do the rest of the list later, but I think everybody gets the point. There are a lot of good congressmen now. Better than the past, but there are some just brutally bad. Nancy Mace, I wouldn't say is top 10 anymore, for worse, because she's seemingly having a sudden reconciliation of realizing, wait a minute, this MAGA stuff isn't actually uneluctable. So yeah, it is fascinating though, but yeah, we'll get to the top 10 list stuff later. We gotta get to the main like meat and potatoes of today, which is Montana and Ohio. So let me bring this back. All right. So yeah, you scroll down here into the hypothetical polling, and I know this was a Republican pollster, but look at that. Rosendale is up by 5. And you look at the primary polling, Rosendale's at 64%. So Shaheed, even with all the endorsements, it's going to be an uphill battle. It is going to be a freaking war. And I'm going to laugh so hard if they spend... I swear, Danes, if you spend $15 million on this guy and he loses, oh my gosh. But, yeah, I think overall, Rosendale, he still has such a big lead. And Shaheed is still not that known. But I think Shaheed is going to get the endorsements. It's going to be a dogfight. Now, as for the general, I think Rosendale can win. Absolutely. This isn't 2018. And now you have people saying 2018, that wasn't a real blue wave because Republicans won Senate seats in North Dakota and Missouri and Florida and Indiana, which, let me bring that up. Let me bring the Senate elections up. So look here. Everybody see this. So yes, Republicans did gain 4 Senate seats in 2024, or 2018. One was North Dakota, Missouri, Indiana, and Florida. Guess what? Of these 4, only one, actually all 4 of them, the Republicans did far worse than Trump. Florida, it was by like a quarter of a point that Rick Scott, or yeah, it was about a point that Trump did better than Rick Scott in the state of Florida. That's it. This is the only state of the 4 flips that Republicans, they didn't vastly underperform Trump. Let's go to Indiana. Look at this. Mike Braun won by only 6. It's not because he's a bad candidate, but because Joe Donnelly was a strong Democrat. And that's what I'm saying. Mike Braun won only by 6. Does that make Mike Braun unelectable in Indiana? I mean, this is what, a Trump plus 20 state in 2016? So, I mean, Mike Braun, he underperformed Trump by 16 here. Let's go to Missouri. Josh Hawley, my man. He took out a semi-popular candidate by 6 points. He still underperformed Trump by 10. Let's keep going. Let's go to North Dakota. Look at this. Kevin Cramer won by 10 or 11. Guess how much Trump won North Dakota by? Over 30 points or something crazy. So, okay, Rosendale lost in Montana. He lost by 4. This is a Trump plus 20 state? Yes, that's a big gap, but look at some of these states. I mean, yeah, I just don't know what to say. I mean, there's people saying now that 2024 or 2018 wasn't a real blue wave. And just basic math. These people are saying Trump's going to win Montana by less than 10. Based on what? Based on what? Montana's been so stagnant, it's suddenly going to shift 15 points to the left. He won by 6. We should run him for president. Well, here's a you talk about Hawley. Hawley, that was actually a dogfight because he was going against a strong incumbent. It was a Trump plus 15 state. But Rosendale, that's a far different state. Montana is far more independent, far more elastic than Missouri, than North Dakota, than Indiana, than even Florida to a lesser extent. Montana's the one state. How do you think Trump can win the state by 20, but you got a Democrat governor that wins by 10? Meanwhile, the senator wins by 15. That's what I'm talking about. Montana is a very elastic state. They have a lot of ticket splitters. They still do, but it's not as much as, say, Maine. And people that say 2012, guess what? 2012, there was a lot of ticket splitters back then, far more than now. Oh my goodness, we should run Romney in Montana because he won Utah by 31. That's my whole point. It's like, who gives a shit? If you win by 20 versus somebody that wins by 15, if the guy that wins by 15 is amazing on the issues, I can care less. I can honestly care less if you do 2 points worse. Whoop-de-doo. Did Obama almost win Missouri? Yeah, he almost won in 2008, and he lost by like 8, I think. Right? He lost by 8 in 2012. But don't worry, everybody. You know, these are some very unelectable candidates in all this. Rap is pissed when he starts swearing. But I'm just sick of repeating myself to these people. They don't care. They don't care how conservative a candidate is. All they care about is, so, can you win a Biden plus 50 seat? You must be the greatest candidate ever. It's just like, who freaking cares? It's like Ohio, which we'll get into next, but man. Actually, Montana voted for Roosevelt in 1932, so Trump doesn't stand a chance. That's something. Some people argue stuff like that. Like 10 years ago, Romney did better. Who freaking cares? Who cares what Romney did 15 years ago? Shows you how electable McCain was. Guy almost lost Missouri and Indiana. And remember, they ran the electability argument back in 2008. Go look it up. They wiped it, but if you go back and find articles, hold on. Let me look this up. John McCain electability. I'm not even kidding about this. John McCain electability. 2008 electability. I gotta find it. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So look at this. I'm not even kidding. This was a Gallup poll, all right? This just shows you how much bullshit polling can mean at times. And I know this is Gallup, but look at this. McCain had a favorability of 57%. I know Obama had 61%. But man, he must be an electoral juggernaut to have 60% favorability. He got wiped off the map. And I know there was a recession. I know there was the Bush stuff. But the main argument was the favorability ratings. Yeah, I gotta find it. I have to find the specific article where somebody said John McCain is an electable candidate. John McCain the most electable candidate. I think I found it. Yeah, I gotta find it. But it's ridiculous. It's actually a real thing. They may have deleted it. I remember seeing it, though. It's just the whole thing's bullshit. Actually, I may find one from Mitt Romney because they say the same stuff every 4 years. Yep, I found one. I found one of Mitt Romney. There we go. Okay. So this is real. This is from NPR. And this is made by, who's this? Frank? Let's see. This is a Republican consultant, mind you. This is somebody that's like a shill for the Republican establishment. And let's see. Okay, I found it, I think. Finally. Okay. This is real. Look at this. GOP view of Mitt Romney's electability may get him past rivals and end. A third of Republican and GOP-leaning voters, 33%, said Romney was the most electable of the choices now before them for the Republican nomination. This is real. The good news for Romney is that some political scientists have found evidence that electability does matter to greater or lesser degrees in presidential primaries. This is real. Romney was seen as the electable candidate. He still got blown out of the freaking water in 2012. I mean, they've been doing this for years, even before Trump. The electable candidate is Mitt Romney. We must run him. He did barely better than McCain. He won 2 states that McCain lost. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Obama was hated. I know, look, you could say what you want about like the other candidates like Rick Santorum, but this electability argument is bull. If you really believe Mitt Romney was going to perform the best, with that, he won like 2 states McCain didn't win. What am I supposed to say? They've been doing this thing for years. It's just different people. They recycle the same arguments over and over again. Yeah, let's go, yeah, there is, I gotta find the McCain one. I gotta find the McCain article where they say he's like the most electable Republican ever. Okay, I think I found one of his behind paywall. Either way, you get the point, guys, what I'm talking about here. They've been saying the same argument for years now about the electability. It's bull. Yes, now let me be clear. Electability does matter to a lesser extent. I'm not saying it's 100% bull. But when you're talking about, oh my gosh, he did 1 point better, he's an electoral juggernaut. That's not what it means. Unelectable just means it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what circumstance you ain't winning that election. You ain't, no matter what you do. There's a 0% chance you could spend hundreds of millions of dollars, you won't do anything. That's a closer definition of electability than, oh, Trump did 1 point worse than Arizona. He's unelectable. Most people shilling for my electable candidates are new to politics, don't understand that electable just means the established likes you. Well, no, there is valid arguments for electability here and there. Like, you're not going to win with like an ultra-nationalist Republican in Massachusetts. You know, that's one thing. But to say that Bernie Moreno, which, perfect segue to Bernie Moreno. All right, well, to Ohio, I should say, excuse me. This is a perfect segue into it. So, there's 3 main candidates, Matt Dolan, Bernie Moreno, Frank LaRose. The people on Twitter make it sound like Moreno's unelectable. And I have a simple question for you. How is Moreno an unelectable candidate? I'm still waiting for that argument. He's unelectable. I'm not even the biggest fan of Moreno. But prove to me that he's an unelectable candidate. That means he cannot win no matter what. It doesn't mean he does 1 point worse. That's bullshit. And I'm sick of people defining as he does slightly worse. That's not electability. That's not electability at all. So, I think we got the polling. Nope, they didn't show the polling here. But there was polling today that showed Moreno at 42%. And Matt Dolan at 45. And automatically, I kid you not, they automatically say, see, Bernie Moreno's unelectable for being at 42% when the incumbent was only at 46. There's two things you got to know about Ohio, or two things to know about this race. One, Moreno does not have the name recognition compared to Matt Dolan or even Frank LaRose. So that's strike one. And strike two, Democrats always overperform in early polling in Ohio. You think I'm kidding? Look at 2022. Vance was getting killed in the polling until October. Then suddenly he picked it off and he won. That's what I'm saying. This electability cult, that's what it is at this point. It's getting to a point where even if you do 1 point worse, 1 point, you are an unelectable candidate. What am I supposed to say to that? And Tim Ryan was the best candidate, absolutely. Sherrod Brown is a strong recruit, but guess what? The problem for Brown is simple. His polling numbers are atrocious right now. Being an incumbent at 45% in Ohio as a Democrat? Let me pull up the Ohio polls from this year to prove my point. Ohio Senate race. Because it just proves what I'm talking about. Right here. Okay, I got to pull it up. Right here. So, this is the map. Vance won by 6. Go down to the polling. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. And this was early 2022 and stuff. You know, there's like 2 polls, so we can't really look at this because... But look at this. Look at all this. Ryan was kicking Vance's ass in the early polling. But suddenly when September and October hit, Vance ran away with it. This is just a fact. This is just historic. This happened last year. The same thing will happen. Vance, he was quote-unquote losing in the election. Last second, the undecideds decided and they voted for Vance. That's what happens in Ohio every single time. The past couple cycles now. And for an incumbent being at 45% against somebody that still doesn't have the name recognition? The polling's not here now, but what are you supposed to say? If we need electability, we should run the corpse of Abe Lincoln. That is true. It's like, at some point, when do we bring back the dead bodies and run for president? I mean, that's where we're going to at this point. And I will actually bring up the polling right now from Interactive Polls, because he posted on Twitter. All right, let's see here. Interactive Polls. Right here. Look at this. For one, it's all within the margin of error. So Moreno has a slight disadvantage, but it's within 4 points. Brown's down by 4. Matt Dolan's down by 1. So what does this tell you? There's a lot of statistical noise into it. Not all of it, but there is. Well, first of all, for an incumbent to be polling at even best case scenario, 46% in Ohio as a Democrat, you're asking for trouble. And a lot of these undecideds, guess who they are? They're Republican voters. How do you think they're going to break? I'm not even kidding about that. And I can actually try to pull this up. Actually, I can't. But a lot of these voters are Republican blue-collar voters. With Trump on the ballot, it doesn't freaking matter what Sherrod Brown is. It is going to be overwhelmingly Republican. I'm not denying it's going to be a close election, comparatively. But starting at 45, 46% as an incumbent, like Brown, that isn't the best sign to be at. I mean, especially for Ohio, where it's like, a lot of these undecideds are probably Republicans. So I would be getting a bit sweaty if I was Sherrod Brown right now. Most of the undecideds are leaning. Yeah, I mean, so at this point, just Moreno's going to gain. And Brown needs a miracle. Let's be real here. He needs to somehow pick off enough voters. This is why, let's see, incumbent under 50 before any candidate has even won the primary. Yeah, that's usually not a good sign. And this isn't like Arizona where it's a 50-50 state. This is Ohio where it's likely Republican. Not a good sign for Brown to be in that situation. Because he's not going to gain much of the support. He just won't. Trump. The incumbents, despite usually outperform presidents, they underperform undecideds. That is a fascinating point. That is actually really true. I got to look more into that now I think about it to see how true that is. But that is a good point. That there are a lot of undecideds, or incumbents, they do better than the president, but they seemingly do worse with undecideds. I don't know. I got to look more into that. It sounds right, but I could be wrong. Let's see here. Most of the undecideds are working class rural voters who don't know Moreno or still semi-approve of Brown. Yeah, I mean, I guarantee if I look at the crosstabs, it would show the exact same thing. It's like 80% Republican of those undecideds. But I just want to know some of these people. Like, how can you say he's unelectable in Ohio when the rest of undecideds are Republicans? How can you say that's an unelectable candidate? But yeah. So I'm more scared of Brown than Tester. I actually other way around. Because Brown, I think, is done. The problem with Tester or Brown is, yes, Tester is in a more Republican state. But Montana's far more elastic and ticket splitting than Ohio. And Tester, I think, when you compare the demographics and the electorates of the state, he's been far stronger than Brown. Comparatively, at least, for the past couple elections. I'm not saying the entire time, but usually. So I think overall that Tester's actually in a better situation than Brown. But yeah. And again, Trump's going to win Ohio by how much? People make it sound like Ohio's still a swing state. He's going to win it by, probably at bare minimum 8 points. Probably closer to 10. It's like Ohio standards, you're talking about a big ticket split. Especially in the year 2024, when ticket splitting continues to get less and less and less common. Yeah, and like somebody's brought up that Vance is becoming a big name in Ohio. And, Vance, he handled the train situation well. Brown he was involved, but it was mostly Vance's doing, and he's supporting Moreno. So, again, that's not everything, but I am thinking that whoever the Republican is, whether it's Moreno, LaRose, Dolan may actually struggle the most. I have my own opinion on that, but I think either way Republicans are winning that Senate seat. As of now, could things change? Absolutely. It's June of 2023. Things can and probably will change here from now. I wonder what will happen if Trump picked RFK as VP. I don't see it happening. I know RFK and Trump, they made some good comments about each other, but I just don't see it. I really do not see how that happens. But that does make me wonder, would that help Trump or hurt him more? To pick RFK. Do you think Nebraska's second's a lost cause? For presidential elections, yes. Congressional, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on with Don Bacon. Outside of that, yeah, it's done. Unless something crazy happens and it swings like 15 points Republican and like Blexit happens. That's the only way that happens. Dolan will be good electorally in my opinion, but I prefer him the least out of the three. I think he would hurt Republicans in the state of Ohio. I just do. Because his problem is you're combining a candidate does far better in, blue collar Republican areas than other Democrats with a candidate that would suck in the Republican rural areas. It's like, sheesh, that's not a good combination at all. But again, you make the argument that he could do better in Columbus. Well, how much better? But I think that, he would do the weakest of the three. As of now, I think he would. Which we could actually get the map up right now. Which I will, the election shuffler. That's actually a good idea. Because this is just to prove my point. Or just make a point about it. Okay. There we go. There. So, let's say Matt Dolan, by some ungodly miracle, made the nomination. And let's say this part of the state, this is the more Appalachian part of Ohio. Let's say all this. How Republican would you think, how Republican would this be compared, or how much would it swing Democrat, this part of the state? I do wonder. Because I'm pretty sure Brown, like, only lost by, like, 5 points in 2018. So let's say it's Dolan versus, again, Dolan versus I'll actually include a couple of those. But yeah, Dolan versus the, gosh, I can't think of that. Brown, excuse me. Let's say this happens. What would we talk about? 12 points? Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. So, at that point, Sherwood Brown's already at, like, down by 6. And only, like, 7 points. I think it'd be a little bit worse. Let us say that in these, suburban parts of, Ohio, let us just make the argument that, okay, Matt Dolan does a little bit better than other Republicans, just for the fact that, he's from the Cleveland area, and there are a lot of voters that they're going to only vote for somebody like Matt Dolan. Let's say he does 5 points better there. Well, what about the rest of the state? And this is what I'm talking about. The rest of the state. I don't think it would trend that Democrat, but I think overall this part of the state would probably shift slightly Democrat, not Columbus. I think it would shift Republican under, Dolan. So let's just quickly get this, and let's say D plus 6. D plus 7. There we go. Okay. And D plus 7. So like that. Okay. Okay, there we go. Whoops. I forgot what I'm doing, but yeah. So I think overall at this point, yeah, it would be about, actually reset. That's kind of useless, but yeah, you get the point that I think there would be areas that Brown would do worse than, Biden in some areas, but he would do better in Appalachian, Ohio. But yeah, that's the only thing. All right, that's it. All right, I failed at that. I'm gonna try to get better at the map shuffler thing, but yeah. Look, 2022, Democrats got humiliated in Iowa. Trump wins Iowa by probably 12. Yeah, that was pretty funny where that Democrat, what's her name again? What was her name? She was supposed to win easily and then she got embarrassed in the primary. But yeah. We need to do better candidates because people do not like voting for McCain and Romney. Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of people that do not like these establishment, old guard type of Republicans because they just suck. Dolan overperforms Trump. Real. I know I messed up the map, so we're not even gonna try it now when I broke it. But it would be funny though if he did. It would just be funny though if he did outperform him by a point. But I don't think that would happen. Nina Turner, no, in Iowa. There was a candidate in Iowa that she was supposed to go against Chuck Grassley and she got crushed in the primary. But nobody thought she was going to lose. I don't care who wins as long as they kick out McConnell and the rest of the leadership. That's why almost nothing got done with the Republican majority in both chambers. No, that wasn't his doing. That was Paul Ryan. McConnell used to be decent. 2017 through 2020, he was good. In the second half for 2020, he went off the rails. And he's become useless ever since. We need a great new age of the Republican Party like Chris Christie, which I haven't heard much of Chris Christie recently. What's up with him? Is he still vibing? I'm actually curious. Fichtner, yeah. Fichtner. Abby Fichtner, I think I'm saying that correctly. Yeah, she was supposed to win, but yeah, she got crushed in the primary. And speaking of that, I have to show everybody this video, and this is actually real. Okay, this is actually a real thing. Okay. This actually just happened. Like literally 5 minutes ago. This just happened. I just got notification about it. I gotta react to this. Is this real? Okay. Let me get the audio. There we go. This is apparently real. I'm gonna see what this is. Biden ends MSNBC interview and just gets up and walk off set while they're still live. What?
Well, and the ones that didn't vote for your bills, but
hold on, I'm gonna see if is the audio working? Yeah.
Run on them.
That's right.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around
he just
here.
Walked off the
we'll
stage.
Have a reaction and analysis to everything.
Wait, play that back.
Don't go.
Appreciate
it's great to have you. Thank you. Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction and analysis to everything.
He just walked off the stage. What? What? He just straight up and left in the middle of the interview. Oh my gosh. What am I supposed to say other than just wow? NPC walk. He's lost his marbles. He's lost more than that. Let's be real. He just left. He just said, oh yeah, goodbye. I'm gone. Did he think that was the real White House in the background? Like, there's the image of the White House. That would be funny if he thought that was, oh my gosh. If he thought that was the actual White House, he was walking towards it. This country's completely screwed. I already know it. Most popular president. Yeah, billions love him. AKA 5 people. Yeah, it's just sad, though, that he's our president. And he does that. And national TV. This wasn't like, you know, Real American on YouTube with 12,000 subscribers. By the way, go subscribe. It's not like that. It was on MSNBC. It had like 50 people watching, okay? But it's still like national television. So people are going to eventually catch up to it. Big no, probably Kamala. Yeah, I don't know about what they're going to do with Biden. I don't think he's going to last much longer. I really don't know how they're going to keep buying the basement. I just don't. But yeah, this country's beyond screwed. What if you had to take a piss or something like that? Well, you still wait till the interview's done and then just leave when it's a commercial break. But oh my gosh, can you imagine if you walked right in the wall thinking that was the real White House? Did you see the interview with Caitlin Collins and Chris Christie on CNN? I didn't watch much of it. Let's see. I really don't think Biden's gonna make it to the elections. I don't think so either. There's just a feeling to me that there's no way. Like, 2020 is hard enough, but he literally can't hide in the basement now. Yeah, he's not gonna be able to sit in the basement. He just won't be able to. Because it's not like Arizona where there are like 5 people paying attention. There's millions upon millions paying attention to this election, you know? So I think that it will be interesting what happens. My dad was awful. He just walked off the stage. Can you imagine if he does that in the debate? He thinks, oh yeah, we're done. I just leave. If Thurman can do it, then so can Biden. Yeah, but I don't know. Is immoral. Let's see. It's immoral what the party's doing to that man. Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. He's been gone for a while. He has not been there mentally. But they're forcing him to run because he's the only. I don't care what people say. Right now, he's still the only Democrat that can win nationwide. I really think that. So, I don't think Democrats have the same energy they did in 2022. The more Trump arguments wearing off, especially after COVID is gone. Yeah, you meant 2020 or 2024. But yeah. They're just... The anti-Trump stuff, I think, is starting to, like, fade off, like somebody says. Not as bad as when Biden said multiple times, I think, yesterday that Russia was invading Iraq. Yeah, I saw that. Hold on. I gotta bring that up also. I'll bring up a lot of Biden stuff today. Biden, Iraq. And, of course, it was on CNN. Yeah, bring this up. There we go.
It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home. He's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home. And he has become a bit of a fly around the world. And it's not just NATO. It's not just the European Union. It's Japan.
He literally said Iraq. I thought people were kidding, but you could clearly hear that he said Iraq. My gosh. And does he even know we're spending money on Ukraine? Like, at this point, I wonder, does he really know that we're spending money on Ukraine? Marriage between Ukraine and America. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he said on the debate stage, Mr. Gorbachev, get out of Iraq. I hope that Biden says something like that. Like, Mr. Gorbachev, go to Iraq or something like that. I don't know. The GOP should embrace more non-climate environmental issues. I agree. Does Biden know he is president? No. I don't think he knows he exists. He's just there, pretending and waiting. I do kind of feel bad for him, though, that he's clearly being forced to run, and he doesn't know where he is. I want a gif of Biden gif of him walking off the stage. I do too now, kind of. The GOP should embrace non-climate environmental issues. Preserving forests is as important as preserving traditions. I do agree with that. There needs to be some kind of, environmental protection. It's not like some of these people that say, oh, we can't spend money on the environment. It's like, we have to. We absolutely need to spend money on protecting the environment. To be honest, it is even funny now to laugh at Biden, just sad. Yeah, it was funny at first when he fell up the stairs, but when he did a third time, it's like, dude, just retire, please. All right, we got a super chat. Stephen Howard for 5. Best guess on a Trump-Biden popular vote margin if the election was held today. All right, again, this could absolutely change, but if it was held today, I think it would be closer than 2020. I think it would be in between 2020 and 2016. So I'm saying Biden plus 2.5, Biden plus 3 maybe. And I'm being generous to Biden. When you look at the popular vote polling, it's been atrocious for him. But I think as of now, when you count for undecideds, probably Biden plus 2, Biden plus 3. We just gotta see. That political guy for 5. There's no Russian domination of Russia, and there never will be under a Biden administration. Did he say that? Is that real? Please tell me that's fake. Watch Republicans win the popular vote in 24 but lose the Electoral College. Oh my gosh, that's good. Either we win the popular vote and the Electoral College or we'll lose the Electoral College. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? The pain continues. The pain continues. But it just... We learned from 2022, things can change on a dime. So... It's a fake quote reference Gerald Ford's gaffe. Oh, yeah. There will never be Russian. Yeah, okay. I remember that. I was trying to think for a second. Did Biden say that? That it just seemed familiar, but then it was like, okay, yeah, it's Gerald Ford. Of course. Of course it is. Thoughts in the suburbs. Nice. Usually nice places. There's some that are just questionable, but usually there's like rural areas. There's a lot of good areas, a lot of bad rural areas. It's just like everything. Lots of America's great. Lots of America's cities are garbage. Just saying. Doesn't mean that's insulting people. Just saying. Comparatively. I think there's a risk of a Dem trifecta. I don't think so. Okay, excuse me. Prediction: Biden wins Pennsylvania by 13 against DeSantis. I don't see that happening. Okay. 2026 prediction, it's way too early. You can't make a prediction without knowing who wins presidential election. You just can't. We need Ohio, we need Wisconsin to flip red. Well, we're going to win Ohio for the presidential election. We're probably going to win it for the Senate seat. So I'm not too worried about it. I think Trump has better chances in Arizona than Pennsylvania. I disagree. Thoughts in Denver, Colorado. Haven't been there, so I can't say anything. From everything I've heard, though, it's not good. Apparently, there's a lot of drug overdoses. So that's not good. Watch you win the Senate and the White House, but lose the House. Oh my gosh. If that happens, oh no. I don't think so. If we win both the Senate and the White House, we're winning the House. We're winning all three. It's not going to be, we win only the White House. That would be the most cursed option, though. We only win the White House. Should we adopt 60s anti-war messaging when it comes to Ukraine, like, make love, not war? Kind of. Don't be cringy about it, but yeah. Be like, we don't want World War III. That's all you gotta say. Denver's a dump. I've been there. I don't know. I've never been to Denver, so I can't say anything. What if 2024 is a red wave? Then my brain is broken. At that point, I just give up. I just give up at predicting red waves and stuff, because if it happens in 24, it just proves red waves are just random at this point. I can't make comments about Dallas, Fort Worth. I can't say anything. I've never been there. I've been to Louisville. Never going there again. Nashville was nice. I went to Fargo, North Dakota. That's nice. Orlando, Florida. I've been there for a little bit. Okay. Tampa Bay I like. Let's see. Philadelphia I've been to. Actually nice. When I went there, it must have been the nice part of town, or the nice part of the city. I went to D.C. I went to parts of Northern Virginia. Baltimore. We drove past it quickly. Let's see. I've been to Gary, Indiana. We got the hell out of there quickly. We drove around it, but technically I was in it for a second. What are your thoughts on Red Eagle predicting that Baldwin loses her seat? I can see the argument, but it's too early to say it. It's too early to say Baldwin's going to lose. I may have said that a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, but I said potentially. And after a while, I looked at the data. I was like, yeah, it's still Baldwin. She's the favorite. No, I've never been to Texas. I should. I love living in upstate New York. It is so beautiful, but it's been destroyed by... Can't finish that. Opinions on Dane County. You know, I have no comment to be made about Dane County. That's where Madison is, for those that don't know. Yeah, I've never been to any city in Texas, so never been to Texas. I've been to Mississippi, I've been to Alabama, I've been to all of them, but for some reason, not Texas. Could a senator run for both seats in a state? I don't believe so. What states have you been to? Basically all of them, except Texas, California, Southwest, parts of the Northeast, Alaska, and Hawaii. So I would say like 30, 35 out of 50, I would say. But yeah, I haven't been to the Southwest. I should count. 3, 4, California, New Mexico, Texas. I would say about 15. Hot take, Milwaukee over Madison. I actually agree with that. There's really nice parts of Milwaukee. Not saying the same thing about Madison, but I just like Milwaukee better. It is my opinion. You know, I'm a bit biased here, but it's like, yeah, I like Milwaukee. It's a nice city. Let's see here. Worst state you've ever been to? Ooh, I don't want to say it publicly so I don't get sued, but the worst state? Like, okay, for more than 5 seconds. Probably Maryland. Because I had to visit Baltimore for like a couple hours. So I don't know if that counts, but Wisconsin Green Bay is the only nice place in Wisconsin. That's full. You're full yourself. The entire state except, parts of Madison and Milwaukee are nice. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful state. I would... Some of the weather I don't like, but outside of that, I would live here rest of my life. The weather's just a problem. And then you have to deal with what the Canadians are doing with the fire and stuff. Have you been to Gary, Indiana? Yes. I just said we were in Gary, Indiana for 5 minutes, and we left. We didn't stop there. So technically, no, but yeah. I would live in Vermont. I would too, but the politics are just awful. I don't get it. I still don't get Vermont at times. I just don't get it. No, I've never been to Arizona. Again, I've never been to the Southwest, most of the Northeast, or California, or Alaska and Hawaii. Let's see here. Gary, Indiana is like a third world country. A friend from Indiana tells me. Yeah, you're not far from the truth. It's sad what happened to our Midwestern cities. I'm a Phil Scott. Most conservative Vermont voter. Phil Scott. I mean... Have you ever been to New Jersey? Technically, yes. I was right on the border, so I would say yes, but no. If you had to leave Wisconsin, where would you go? Probably Florida. I know I harp on a lot, but Florida, Texas, or Nevada. If I had to move. Maybe in Ohio. Ohio's a good choice, too. What would happen in 2024 if it's 269 and 269? Well, at that point, just get the nukes. Just get the nukes. Cheney or Becky Edwards? At least Cheney's conservative on, like, abortion. I'll take that. Why is Ohio GOP so bad at redistricting? It's Ohio. It's, again... It is always Ohio. What is up with the memes with Ohio? I don't get it. I swear, anytime something like cursed or bizarre happens, it's something related to Ohio. Ohio man burns the water in the Mississippi. It's like, what? I know it's a joke, but it's like, it seems like, it's always Ohio in the news. Something crazy happens. Let's see. Average Vermont GOP member, I only believe in democratic socialism. I mean, that's not far from the truth. Again, the Vermont GOP is like 5 guys in a basement. And 1 to 5 guys of Phil Scott. That's the Vermont GOP. Florida man is common too. Yeah, but recently it's been Ohio. It's always Ohio. Some parts of the Bronx are actually nice. Riverdale, Country Club, Edgewater. Yeah, there's like some really nice parts of New York. I know that. Like New York City. There's some brutal, absolutely brutal parts of the city. Republicans need to support solar energy for non-environmental reasons. Solar energy is more than a hippie energy source. It's one that can help in self-sufficient homes. Okay, here's my stance on energy. Because people are asking me a lot about it. I am a nuclear energy enjoyer. I believe nuclear energy is the future. You know, we gotta be like that one guy that tried to build a nuclear reactor in his backyard. You know, We need nuclear energy bad. And, like, how many are there? Hold on. I had to look this up. I'm actually curious now. How many, what percent of energy comes from nuclear? Let's see here. This is from the let's see here. Energy Information Administration, the EIA. Right here. Look at this. Okay. Fossil fuels, 60%. Duh. This is what people are talking about. Like, come on. 60% of 60% of energy comes from fossil. But look at nuclear. 18% of all energy comes from nuclear power, while 21% comes from the rest of the garbage renewables. Look at this. And if I bring up, how many reactors are there? How many nuclear reactors in the U.S.? Because I'm very curious. Okay. There we go. In the United States, nuclear power is provided by 92 commercial reactors. 92! And it produces 18% of energy in the United States. Wow. It's that much? That little, I should say? I thought it was like 150. You know, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, how much does a nuclear reactor cost to build? How much? Like, let's be real. How much would it cost to, build a single nuclear reactor? Okay, let's see here. Cost of nuclear power plant. Okay. Yeah, how much would it cost to build a nuclear power plant? Does everybody know? Because, like, okay, just give them like $200 billion of the energy stuff and invest in nuclear. Because only 91 reactors make 18% of energy. We can be energy inefficient like, what, 2 years or 10 years when they get all built? That's what I'm saying. Like, and we can be a net exporter again. This isn't complicated. It's common sense. But also, in my opinion, I'm an enjoyer of hydropower. In my opinion, that is super underrated. Hydro is vastly underrated. Let's see here. Biomass, that's also a good one. Thermal is a big one that I don't think many people are talking about. Solar is okay. If you're like gonna put on your house, if you're gonna put like a couple solar panels in your house, that's good. That is a good idea. But making solar plant farms, that's stupid. That's a waste of energy. It's time. But if you put them on your house, it's both a good investment option because it saves energy and you could sell back to the city, and it just makes sense, But I do think overall, you start looking at it, nuclear, hydro, and like biomass, not biomass, thermal, whatever thermal is. But yeah, those two alone, in my opinion, are the future. What is the worst form of energy? In my opinion, it's probably going to be wind. Because you have to build like, yes, it's 10% of energy, but how many wind plants are there? Like 500,000? Thousands upon millions of windmills. Just get this. When it's like, just make a nuclear power plant. You're done. Did a solar farm in Nebraska just get destroyed by hail? Yeah, that's a problem. It's like, you just get a hailstorm and it's gone. It's gone forever. That's my whole point too. But yeah, I think overall nuclear is the future. You got to produce nuclear. That's the only way we are going to be energy efficient and energy independent again. Just don't do what they did in Chernobyl Fukushima. Well, those two situations was incompetence and nobody died from the nuclear power disaster in Japan. Right? It was from the evacuations. Nobody, like one person died from the actual meltdown, like directly. It's a very safe form of energy. You just can't be incompetent. That's it. If you have good regulation on it, free energy and 100% clean. Just go full nuclear. Yeah, I mean, just build a bunch of plants that sustains America, and the rest could be just for net exporter. And just do what they did on Fallout. Make everything like a nuclear reactor in like your backyard. Do it. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, Japan was due to a major earthquake. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't put in population centers. Or like, put in near population centers. I'm not saying like raining downtown where freaking Jimmy walks down the street and suddenly he turns into a goldfish. You know, that's what I'm not talking about. I'm talking like a couple miles down the road, far from cities. So if a disaster does happen, I'm just saying. But yeah, the public perception's scared because you have freaking morons and you look into it as mostly the fossil fuel industry, and this is not me being kidding around. They purposely paid people to lie about the nuclear energy. So you'll get hit with a demon core and become the Hulk. Yeah. Thoughts on the Bush era Republican thinking of who say drill baby drill and we gotta use more fossil fuels to own the libs. Again, fossil fuel is fine, but it's like you gotta get nuclear. At some point or another, it's gonna be nuclear or nothing. Nuclear. German government caused so many problems that the AfD is only 6.5% behind. Yeah, I saw that. New York shut down Indian Point nuclear plant recently in Rockland County. I don't know the reason though. You know, like somebody says right here, Western reactors have like 1,000,001 fail-safes low. They literally can't turn to Chernobyl. Yeah, Chernobyl was just you're dealing with drunk Russians. That's what you're dealing with here. You know, I'm being sarcastic a little bit, but it's like kind of what happened. The Simpsons did the most harm to public opinion on nuclear energy. True. But nuclear is the best. And hydro is pretty good too. It's under talked about. Yeah, just put the plants in cities. Iron Man could save us. Yeah, just get the arc reactors. Just invent it. Just invent it. You know, make dark matter, all that stuff. Nuclear. Nuclear. Nuclear has problems during droughts. Remember to put nuclear in Midwest, not the West. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, we need to put like freaking 500 in California. For one, they would never get built. But second of all, they would blow up in a week. So, I mean, because it just gets so damn hot there. Or compared to, like, other parts. So drought would be a problem. Put plants in cities and your kids might be born with skin. Yeah, just Jimmy down the street, don't worry about it. Soviet safety standards aren't the best. Wow. You're telling me the Soviets didn't have safety standards? Replace wind-sat solar farms with a singular nuclear plant. Yeah, you can. You can. Hydro nuclear need cooling. I know they do, but it's like, just don't build them in a freaking place that gets a drought every 5 seconds. Do you think that California high-speed rail will ever finish? No. It's California. They never build anything. That's why they have a housing crisis. It takes 50 years just to, like, build a parking lot. It's just like, what are you doing? Do you hear where the Japanese human testing from World War II? Yeah. I mean, everybody did human testing. Some worse than others. What do you think the People's Republic of China disevolving and no more Xi Jinping, but Przing leads Russia? Hell no. Przinga, we don't want Pringles leading Russia. I know that's not his name, but it's like, that's funny. No, the guy would nuke everybody in like 5 seconds. California has so many regulations. Yeah, I mean, you can't even like walk down the street, you know, and like, oh yeah, I want to like, you may get taxed for breathing. That's how egregious California has gotten. And there needs to be change in California if they're ever going to fix that state. But it won't happen. Which is sickening because California was a beautiful state. It is. It has such a beautiful climate, environment, everything. Just they ruined it. They pissed it all away and they blew it. Absolutely blew it. As a Californian, I could tell you that California takes 5 years to build one shed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, wasn't that one guy in LA? He was like building like these homeless houses, like these. They're not big. They're like sheds. They're mini sheds. They're like 5x5, where homeless people, you know, they each get their own little essentially an apartment, where they can put their stuff away. They get a roof over their head, all that, just for the day. And then they like tear it down because of like environmental reasons. I mean, it's like, why? If the guy does it privately, it's like, just let them do it. Just let them help a lot of homeless people. Florida and Texas build entire neighborhoods in 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it takes 5 seconds to get a house permit in Florida. California, it's like, you'll be dead by the time they get to it. Okay, did you hear Japan was planning to set a bubonic plague on the U.S. months after the bombs? Yeah, it is scary though to think that they actually almost did stuff like that. But I do wonder how effective that would be though. Let's see here. I love Reagan, but he did pass gun control. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Reagan. I think he's overhated by some and vastly loved by too many. But he's alright. He did a lot of bad, though. Do you see Josh Shapiro when they've rebuilt I-95 in 12 days? Yeah, I saw that, but it's like, that was just for show. The next time there's a road that collapses like that, it'll take like 5 years. It always is just for show. Do you think World War III will happen in Biden's second term? Yeah, I think World War III will happen. If Biden wins re-election. Because the people around him are just incompetent. They want a war with Russia. That or they don't know any better. They think, oh, the world is just a nice place. We can give give Ukraine a bunch of soldiers. What's the worst that could happen? Reagan is B. I say a low B tier. Like DeSantis during Hurricane Ian. Yeah, it's like politicians. I'm not attacking DeSantis, but it's like, I guarantee you, if it didn't get as much publicity as it did, it would take 5 years to repair that stuff. Or for Florida, probably like a couple months. But for a state like California, it would never get finished. So. Older reactors should be in Gary. Nah, they've suffered enough. But Gary's another city where it's like, they gutted the Midwest and look what happens. Why did the Dems become warmongers all of a sudden? Reactionary politics to Trump, anti-war? 2 things. 1, the neocons joined the Democrats. Number 2, they're deranged with Trump. So that's part of it. Shapiro will be Tom Wolfe on steroids when he wins re-election by 20 due to his popularity. What if he loses? Mastriano returns and he wins. That would be the cursed timeline. Maybe Hillary Clinton should take over. No, absolutely not. Clinton was the one that wanted World War III in Russia before it was cool. I'm just saying. Honestly, the American for 2. If Rosendahl's a nominee, McConnell won't fund it. Yeah, at some point why is there so much power invested in that bozo? Like, I can understand, he's a Senate leader. Should have some say. Why can't there be, like, a committee of Republicans, like 5 senators, be like, okay, we agree where to fund and how much and how? I think he's going to win re-election. He's going to run in 2028. That is possible. Let's see here. Time for Kari Lake to run for Senate. No. No way. What if Oz wins a case but couldn't win the Fetterman? I would hate that timeline. Well, again, I feel so bad for Oz, but has anybody noticed anything odd about Oz lately? You've heard nothing from him. I think he's still in Turkey for the all the earthquake stuff that happened. But just for the memes, I kind of want Oz to run for Senate again, just for the chaos. Because if you notice, he's been doing a lot of events in Pennsylvania recently. I just checked his Twitter, actually. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still in Pennsylvania. He's doing a lot of events in... Okay, what is Oz cooking here? And what piqued my interest was Oz, he was put on a poll recently against McCormick, and he's, like, tied. If Oz runs, oh my gosh... I may support him just for the memes. We need it. But I haven't heard from him since even though he made a "you haven't seen the last of me" statement. Has he? Did he make that statement? Please, Oz. We need Oz to win. Just for the memes. Chrissy should go out, go be the lead on Whale Wars. What? Why is our bench in Pennsylvania so bad? There's some good ones, but none of them want to run for Senate. So, right after the election, he did. Oz, do it. Do it. Imagine if Oz loses, but Santos won. I still can't believe that happened. Yeah, I have a weird feeling about Oz. Again, how old is Oz again? Let's see, Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz. He's only 63. Oh, that's not that old. How screwed is Fetterman of 2020 if we run a strong candidate? I think Fetterman's done. But wait a minute. What if Dr. Oz runs for president? Hold on. Dr. Oz 2024. Do it. But I know it's a joke, but let's see. Larry Elder will win every vote in Iowa. So true. All right, I think I'm going to head off a little bit. If you got any more super chats or any more questions, send them now or forever go in peace. Oz may be a rhino, but he's our rhino. True. Then Oz was a Shrek. Yeah, I know. I just want Oz to run for the memes because we're losing the case no matter what. Might as well throw shit at the wall. I'm just saying. How many electoral votes would Trump get against Harris? About 300, I would say. Do you see the Dem in Wisconsin saying F the suburbs? Yeah, if you don't know what happened, there's a Democrat from Milwaukee, and she said, literally word for word, fuck the suburbs. They don't know anything. They don't give a damn about anything. It's like, And you wonder why the Wisconsin Democrats can't win anything past, Tammy Baldwin. And every now and again, a fluke governorship. What's the most schizo take? Ooh. Most schizo take. A ticket for 2024. Most schizo. I would say it would be Mike Lindell and Carrie Lake. Mike Lindell and Carrie Lake. How do you vote in this hypothetical schizo primary in Wisconsin? Tim Ramthun, David Clark, or Paul Neyland? I can't remember who Paul Neyland is. Wait, is that the guy? Oh, I know exactly. Oh. I know exactly who you're talking about now. Never mind about that. I would vote for, Ramthun. Yay. Raph, do you believe in any conspiracy theories? Alright. Sit back, everybody. Here's a take. There is one conspiracy theory I believe in. Or there's a couple, but I'm not one of those people that think everything's fake. But I have one conspiracy theory or is it really a conspiracy? I don't know, but this is a conspiracy that I kind of believe. Hear me out for a second. The moon landings were real, but the footage we saw wasn't. I'm not saying, again, the moon landing was real. It was 100% real, but if there's one thing I would believe in, the moon landing was real, but the video they showed was not. We went to the moon, there's no doubt about it. It's a matter of, was that footage real? And I question it. You look at some of the footage, it's iffy. Definitely a bit suspicious. But I do believe that we went to the moon, but I think the footage is somewhat fake. I believe that. Now people are taking that out of context. It's like, we went to the moon. There's no doubt about it. We have, when you shine, what do they call? There's like mirrors or something like that on the moon. You shine it and it points back at you. We put that on the moon. But I think that the footage itself wasn't real. Again, I'm saying the footage itself we showed, I have my doubts about it. I think that footage is edited, but not completely fake. That's kind of where I think there's some fake, there's some edits there. It's real, we went to the moon, right? Buzz Aldrin went there, all of that. But the footage, you look at it, there's some questionable things in it. Why would they fake footage, not just photos? Well, I'm just saying, it. When you look at the film that comes back, when you bring film into space, there's a radiation field. It would get deleted pretty much or disevolved when you bring film back. I believe that's how the science works, but I just have a feeling that the footage isn't 100% real. But the moon landing was. The light in the footage was impossible to do in the 60s. It's NASA we're talking about here. In the 60s, I guarantee you they had far more advanced technology than they claim they did. But yeah, the moon landing's real. There's no doubt about that. People that say it's fake, it's you're crazy. It just, the footage just does not look right. When you look at the footage, just looks like a stage sometimes. But it could be real. It could just because the cameras are bad. But there's some logistical problems, the problems with the film. It's yeah, I think it may have been edited. The footage itself, but we went to the moon. Did you ever see the Mythbusters video where they prove the moon landing is real, but showing that it can be fake? Yeah, I saw that. That's what I'm saying. That the landing was real, I just have my doubts with the film. Because when you go through there's a radiation field if you go through it, I don't think the film stays intact. But yeah, that's my opinion. I'm still thinking it's 100% real. The moon's real. We went to the moon. JFK stuff. I am not allowed to say that on YouTube. The footage was edited to be epic. Yeah, I think that's the right argument. There's some fake stuff in it, but generally speaking, the footage is probably real. But there's they edited stuff. They spliced it together. Thoughts on this conspiracy that Watergate was a setup to oust Nixon? I believe that to a lesser extent. Look up Project American, I believe. Well, yeah, Project no. There was a nuclear or an energy independent plan released by Nixon 2 years before he got removed, like a year before. And there was a conspiracy that Nixon got taken out for wanting energy independence, which I can believe, but I'm not 100% on it. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm a big conspiracy theory, guys, but there is one or two theories here and there I believe in, kind of, to a lesser extent. Obviously the moon's real, obviously Watergate did happen, but I have my questions about, was Nixon really that involved compared to what they claim, and was the footage we got 100% real? I believe we went to the moon. Who's ready for Becky Edwards for president? Absolutely not. Anyways, folks, I think we're going to head out now. Again, I'm not saying it's fake. I'm not saying it's 100% real. I'm just saying that we went to the moon. I don't know about the footage. Is that a fair take to say that the footage did not look right? But we went to the moon, obviously. We have proof that they did. So they brought back rocks from the moon. So there's proof of that. Plus there is something they put on the moon where you could shine it at night with a telescope and you can see it. The moon's real, yes. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this live stream, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today.